afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Esports webinar, probably brought to you by EGG Network and a part of Level Up Play One, probably brought to you by the Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or commonly known as MDEC. My name is Mohammad Farouq, you guys can call me Flava, and today we're going to be entertained by a number of amazing webinars being set up from our proud organizers right here, and we are ready to kickstart our first webinar of the day on the topic of gaming, esports, or addiction. And we've invited a number of amazing panelists to be joining us for today's discussion itself, right? Both the gaming sector and the addiction sector. I think, we've never had such a thing. Okay, every time we actually have a discussion on this, we keep having people from the gaming sector, but never addiction sector. Hopefully, we try to balance this out on things. I mean, jokes aside on this. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our panelists for today. Let's kickstart with inviting. Firstly, we have Miss Michelle Chan, analytical consultant and gaming lead, Google Malaysia. Wave a little bit. Do we know who you are? Yeah, there we go. That's Miss Michelle right there on the top middle. And of course, next we have none other than Mr. Firdaus Hashim, or commonly known as MasterRamen. He is a Facebook gaming streamer as well as the director of IO Esports. Ramen, how are you doing, Ramen?
I'm good.
Right? Lambai sikit. Okay, in case if you guys don't know who Ramen is, that is an insult.
Kena lambai,
You guys need to know, okay? Lambai. And of course, next we have Mr. Jeffery Chan, Regional Business Development and Partnership of ESL Asia. Mr. Jeffrey, yeah, he's that's a shy lambai there. And of course, number 4, last but not least, is none other than Mr. Partibhan, or commonly known as Mr. On the Go, the country manager of Team Secret. Partibhan, you there? On the go?
Sayang lontong.
Oh, that was not what was part of the script. If you followed it, everybody kind of like just wave hands, okay? All right, but sayang lontong, that is Mr. On the Go. All right, now we got to know a little bit about. I mean, this is just general introductions of our panelists. We would love to actually know more about it. So since I did introduce Michelle, would you kindly introduce yourself? What you do in the gaming sector? With addicted to the games, feel free to share.
Hey, thanks so much, MDEC, EGG team, for inviting me back. I think it's my second time on a Level Up panel, so it's great to be back. So my name is Michelle, and some of you know me as a former co-founder of Fundever. We were a startup that worked very closely with prominent gaming creators like Nerd Gaming Malaysia and Kambing Golek. I was also previously a shoutcaster for Garena League of Legends. I was a Twitch partner. I did some YouTube. And today I lead gaming and esports initiatives at Google Malaysia. So actually, out of everybody here on the panel, I think I've met all of you here at very different points of this journey. So it's really good to have everybody gathered together today for this really exciting topic. I am not addicted to gaming, but I am very, very passionate for gaming and esports. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what any addict would actually say. I'm not an addict. Just like a good self-defense. Before you say anything, I'm not an addict. I know that I transition from this gaming. Now I'm still doing gaming, but I'm not. So you're what would you say again?
Passionate person in gaming and esports.
Right.
Yes.
So viewers, you heard straight from Michelle's mouth right there. She is a passionate, so-called. Great new terminization right here. Okay, next, we jump on to Mr. MasterRamen. Mr. Ramen?
Yeah.
Yeah, would you like to kindly introduce yourself? Let us know a little bit more about yourself, what you've been doing before this, before you were director of esports, or things that you're actually currently working on right now. And are you an addict?
Okay, my name is Firdaus. Kalau siapa tak, if you don't know what my real name, my name is Firdaus. Only Firdaus, no other word, no Mohammad, no apa. People know me as a MasterRamen lah. So before that, I work as engineer. Before I quit it's not 100% quit, but I focus more on esports and form a miniski event team before with my partner Kenchi Yap, and then after that we moved from miniski event team to IO Esports, and currently I'm busy streaming every day. That's all.
That's a great life, right? Just before I jump into the whole gaming thing, when you say you were an engineer, right? What kind of engineer was it? There's some electric engineer, there's mechanical.
Those engineers that make building, make bridges.
Okay.
There's something like that lah.
All right. Okay, Ramen. Here's the thing about you, right? A lot of people don't see you actually game. People see you as you are the director of IO Esports, which does esports events in Malaysia and much more. we don't see you playing much video games aside from when you're streaming. So are you addicted to gaming? Are you that kind of guy? I mean, from my perspective, public, we don't see you much, but are you really?
Last time maybe when I edited to Dota, but since I not playing Dota anymore, so I just play game when I live there. So after outside of my live stream is pretty much eating, resting, and have spending time with my wife.
Wow. Okay. That's the third part was amazing. I didn't like the first and second one, like eating and gaming, and then I was like, that's okay. But anyways, thank you so much, Mr. Ramen, for sharing. Next up is, of course, Mr. Jeffery Chan, the ESL Asia guy. Jeffrey.
Hey, so if no one knows me yet, basically I started off with League of Legends, but I was from the media industry. So previously I actually was with The Star. That was back in 2014 when I'm still doing my typical stuff. But I slowly moved on into really pro gaming kind of way. I'm a very bad gamer, so I can't compete, I can't win tournaments. Most of the time I'm being carried by my brother. But so that was when I realized I can't play games, and if I want to stay relevant, I need to find something else to do. So I went into managing pro teams. So I was with the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, probably the one and only pro team for League of Legends in Malaysia at that time. So that actually started bringing me into the esports scene. Then from then on, I just went on to some multiple startups here and there. Only 1 year ago, I think 1 year and 1 or 2 months ago, I eventually went to ESL. So right now, I'm basically running a regional BD as well as a sales partnership with ESL in Asia. So we are typically a German company. We were basically the ones who run the ESL ones, the IEM, and right now, we are trying to basically build something here in Asia. And good to know that Malaysia is one of the places where they really want to do something. So here am I. But
wow. It sounds like a lot of serious stuff that you're actually doing right here, which does not involve you playing the game. Like for example, if like even Michelle back in the day, she's just casting, she has to play the game, and Ramen's like doing live streaming and she has to play the game. Like, do you actually play a lot of the game itself, or you're just too occupied with work revolving around the game?
To be honest, most of the time I don't exactly enjoy playing games. Rather, I actually enjoy the competition. So I consider myself more from the esports side rather than the gaming side. I can't spend more than like an hour or two playing a video game, unless it's someone that I want to beat and they got me so angry and triggered. Then I will want to beat them. So that is usually my motivation.
You're like the child every parent wants. Like usually they set a timer for 1 hour. Like don't worry, Jeffrey will stop. He's that good.
I think that was what my dad actually implanted into me, because last time my PC.
Oh wow.
My dad is a computer guy, right? So he does software. So last time my PC, I literally have a 1 hour timer and then eventually when it goes off, the whole computer just shut down. So that was my life previously. Maybe came back right now. I can't grind the game anymore.
Okay, all right. That's very unfortunate. And I thank you for your honesty for telling us that you're not really good at the game, because majority of the population gamers, they won't never admit that they're really bad at the game. Just like our next guest right here we have is none other than Mr. Partibhan, all right? Or famously known, and a lot of people would know him as Mr. OnTheGo, OTG, an abbreviation. Mr. OnTheGo, kindly do introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I wanted to cough and say Flava, but yeah, too bad.
It was definitely referring to you, okay?
Nope, you. By the way, I'm on the go. My real name is Partibhan Pechayapan. That's the correct pronunciation. I'm also the Team Secret Country Manager. I'm a caster for Dota 2. Used to cast for Dota 2. Now I'm casting for PUBG Mobile. I can cast both in English and also in Malay, but nowadays I'm casting more towards the Malay audience. I studied in UM. I did my degree, master's, everything in UM. And right after that, I chose to take this path towards esports, because I did pure chemistry, computational chemistry. So nothing related to what I'm doing now. Just that it was a good piece of advice by a lecturer that said that you can talk, you shouldn't be inside a room and pressing stuff. Instead, go and talk. So took that advice and started casting for Dota 2. The opportunity was given by that big man over there, MasterRamen, and also Mineski, previously Mineski, now Ayo. They gave the first opportunity for me to cast Dota 2 maybe like 3 years ago for MESL. It was a
Mhm.
Dota 2 league. Started casting for that one, and I think I could say that most of the things that I got today is through Ramen and his crew, Kenchiap, Leon, everyone from Mineski and also IO Esport. From there, they gave me opportunity to cast for PUBG Mobile as well, and PUBG Mobile became big. Got closer to the PUBG Mobile players, and then out from nowhere, Team Secret came, and then I became the PUBG Mobile manager, and now the country manager. So I also do live stream. I live stream on Facebook. I'm also a Facebook partner. Mostly mobile game, PC game, anything. But I'm not an addict. I used to be an addict back then when I was in high school. I don't play game because I like them. I play game because I want to feel belong. Because most of my Chinese friends, they play Dota 2. No, they play Dota 1. So because I wanted to play, I start going to cyber cafe because I don't have PC or anything. So I spend most of the time in the cyber cafe. That time I was an addict, but then I'm not good at gaming as well, like Jeffrey. I enjoy watching them. Yeah, not an addict, never.
Wow, strong. Just a bit hasn't got
He
to
didn't
be
even
the
blink.
strong- Yeah, I know he didn't even blink. He was that confident. Like his speech was a lot better than our prime minister when he was giving that monthly review on our situation on the pandemic. Right. So I don't even have room to say anything because he basically gave out everything he had on his side. Right. Thank you so much,
I
Mr.
blinked.
OnTheGo. So because he was lying somewhere along the line, he kind of lied. It's like, all right. Okay. Anywho, right? Before we jump in, one last thing. All right. Now, since we're going to be talking on the topic of esports or addiction, all right? Wait. Is it sorry, esports or addiction itself? Is there a fine line for us to differentiate between what is considered you doing esports activities and what is considered addiction? Are we talking about addiction just in terms of if you play beyond 4 hours you're addicted, or if you do this you're esports, this is addiction? Anyone care to actually take on this? Anyone?
Yeah, I can start. I think it's not so much a fine line, rather it's like two different sides of a spectrum, right? So on one far end, you have esports, which is the competitive side. You win a lot of prize money. You are basically a global superstar. People like Faker and all of that. And then on the other side, you have addiction, which is, I guess, the dark side of gaming. So in between, usually people fall in between this range, right? There's like a spectrum. You can either be super passionate, but you're tending maybe almost towards addiction because you play too much, or you're starting to lose a lot of sleep because you just can't stop playing. And I think the difference is this, right? So esports is competitive. It's a place where you test your skills. You play against people to be recognized. You try and win because you have put a lot of effort, put a lot of hours into honing this particular skill that lets you become super good at it. But addiction is where you play, you may be super good, but you play to a point where you can't control the act of gaming itself. So it's almost as if you're unable to stop playing, let's say, I don't know, 10 hours a day, 12 hours
Willingly,
a day.
like willingly,
right?
yeah,
Even if you wanted to, you can't, because it feels so bad if you try and stop. And you're doing all of this, it's negative. There's a lot of like impact on your life, on your career, on your work.
When you say it feels bad to stop, were you referring to it feels bad to stop when you're still losing, or is it feels bad, or it's never enough? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so games are designed in a way where you can keep going back to it, right? Like it never ends, and that's the nature of a lot of, I guess, games that are now also becoming like esports or competitive games. So you can go back to it continuously, and because you keep losing, or if you do keep losing, or even if you keep winning, you feel like that pressure or that pull, right, towards actually playing another game, and that can go in a complete different direction.
All right, I sense the truthfulness in it because we see a lot of memes and anywhere, any social platform you actually see, these memes of this thing where one more game and then people started turning to that side. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, I don't know whether everyone. I like how OnTheGo is like smiling really big to that. Yep, that's me. Yep,
No,
yeah.
that's you. I'm thinking about
actually,
you.
It's very simple. Esport, you play tournament, you play competitively, and addiction is like you sanggup tak makan lah. You don't want, you rather play the game and then eating, or you rather play the game than going out with your family, something like that. So that if you are like that, I think you are in the addiction part of the gaming lah. Something like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
speaking
that's-
about the spectrum that Michelle mentioned just now, if you put it in a very simple way, right? What I can say is playing Mario Kart an hour a day, that's like casual gaming. Playing Mario Kart 18 hours a day for 30 days straight in a month, I think that's addiction already. But training 15 hours a day to join a competition called Mario Kart Invitational 2020, organized by ESL1,
Wow.
for a prize pool of 100,000 USD. That is esport. So I think that's the thing. One is on this side, another one is on the other side. It's like totally different thing, like for addiction and also for esport, because esport people do it for entirely different reason.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what basically OnTheGo was mentioning, it's really about the goal that you are playing the game. So if you're playing the game for a purpose, for a reason, and the reason is, it can be a competition, it can be to hang out with friends, it can be, you know, just to get better at the game, then it's not as an addiction. But if you're playing it in a sense where you don't even know why you're playing it, you just want to play, and because of playing that, you just lose out on so many other things in life, even food, then I think that's pretty much just bad. And if it's bad, I consider that like one form of addiction. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think I have a lot more questions in about this, but it's okay. I think we'll just try to answer it along the lines throughout the whole webinar that we have for today. So let's jump into the first conversation we're about to have for today. Now, if you guys are familiar with this, the World Health Organization (WHO), obviously since the pandemic, everybody knows this, voted to include gaming disorder in its latest international classification of diseases (ICD). Right now, what are some of the issues at stake here, and what are your thoughts on WHO's decision? All right. So, what do you think? This has happened, already occurred before this itself. So, what do you think about this decision coming up from the WHO?
I think that it's not a bad thing to acknowledge that
Acknowledging,
this is a thing, right? So addiction to gaming can and is real for a very, very small proportion of people. So the fact that people are putting it as a specific disorder, and I think I've read about this when WHO decided to put it on, is the reason is that it encourages more research. It encourages people to really think about this as something that's real. And to see if there's a possible way to overcome it, to prevent it, right? So it's not a problem to say that there's a dark side to this. And similarly, like, you know, other forms of addiction, like I can be addicted to work, right? And even like if I really derive some form of pleasure from working really, really hard, I can be addicted to it. And in that similar sense, you know, having gaming addiction as a disorder is one step, I think, towards trying to find a way to overcome it. And for us all to actually, you know, talk about it here as well.
All right. Just to share, when this happened, when it was kind of like a declaration that it was a disorder, right? The gamers were in panic due to number of reasons. Number one is that they pray that their parents don't read the newspapers or the internet. All right, because they're trying to hide this information. Like they don't want mom and dad to read this, because mom and dad will go to Hazi. What daddy told you? Disorder, right? So you should stop playing games and much more. So the thing is, the gamers felt like they're being labeled as the ones who are playing games efficiently. Well, like for example, esports athletes, the one that Ramen mentioned, all this. I think they have healthy activities in their lives, and they also practice esports just like any other sports in well-conditioned environment and much more. So they feel kind of attacked that you're calling this a disorder, but this is actually like a real thing, you know. There's a professional side to it and much more, and we don't belong in that category. I mean, I'm very sure some of you guys felt the brunt of this. Like for example, OnTheGo actually manages a number of players in his team as well. Jeffery already managed a few teams as well. So did you guys, did you, or you know, whoever that you're managing in the esports scene, the gaming scene, you know, felt affected by this?
Yeah, actually no as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so they were totally fine. Like,
To be honest, I feel like people who are involved in esports don't really get affected, because
Yes.
I mean, in order to be part of esports, we I'm pretty sure this is with all of us as
Mhm.
well. We did a lot of explaining and talking to our parents, our peers, and we share about it all the time. So they pretty much know what we are doing. The the bigger thing about this is really just WHO declaring it as a disorder. It's really for those cases that we really don't see on a daily life, and it's probably even happening. It's probably true, but putting it into perspective, to me, having it declared is actually a good thing. It also shows that
Mhm.
gaming is right now something relevant even to the WHO, that they need to take a concern about it. I'll take that as a good thing. But yeah, I mean, for my end, I don't see esports people especially having much of an issue, especially if they cover their bases, like they talk to the right people, they explain things properly, and they tell the right stories. But yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think they were being factual to one point. Yes, you want to say something? Like,
It's a good decision from WHO to acknowledge it. It's just that we need to understand that this only applies to a small group of people, and the esport athletes, they are not one of it, because for esport as athletes, right? For Team Secret, the titles that we are involved, they are all well organized. They are competitive. They offer some kind of rewards for the players that play in the competitive scene as esport athletes, and they also have certain amount of people who support them, like our staff. We support them to make sure that everything goes well, everything in their personal life goes well. It's not like that neglecting your parents or their friends or whatever their duties as like a normal human being. But for the people that WHO are declaring that these people have this disorder, these people are those that are wasting a lot of time to a point that these people, they are not doing the thing that they should do. Like maybe these people need to go work the next day, or even like join a webinar and he needs to talk, but he's sleeping right now because gaming until like 9 a.m. in the morning or 10 a.m. in the morning. So there are things that need to be done, but the person is not doing it. Why? Because he's wasting too much time concentrating on a game, and that's due to the addiction. But esports side, we control it really, really well. So this small chunk of people is not the subset of the people that WHO is talking about.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. All right. Now, before we jump into the next one, I also want to share that usually a general perspective is status quo, right? Now, I understand that in esports perspective, like it does not represent the ones that WHO was referring to, but we do understand that for normal kids out there, teenagers out there, their parents don't see. Some of them, they don't see their kids are doing esports. At the end of the day, it's still gaming. You can call whatever you want. You're doing esports activities, and then to their eyes, you just think games. It's a perspective kind of thing. So they kind of like, although you're doing the right thing, you're still pretty professional, but there are parents out there who are not built in well-built teams and much more to have this kind of perception. So it's kind of very unfortunate on that one. But I think we do expect in the near future that this kind of mindset will actually improve over time, and esports will actually be accepted, not just some dudes playing games with no vision or objective in mind and all this. All right. Now, jumping into our second topic. Now, this is going to be interesting, right? Now, this is a little bit personal as well. What is the most ridiculous story you've heard about someone using esports as an excuse for gaming addiction? All right. I would love to actually hear from Ramen for this. What's the most ridiculous story you've heard about someone using esports as an excuse for gaming addiction?
For me, I think it's like the most weird story that I heard is like they confuse between esport and gaming. So most of the kids will tell their parents like, I'm playing. You see these people going to represent Malaysia in SEA Games, and then this guy become millionaire playing games on, but the people that in esports, they are joining a tournament, they are joining a professional team, they are athlete, it's their work. But for these kids, they are telling this fake story. It's a true story, but it's a fake for them. It doesn't relate to them at all, because they are playing game more than 8 hours per day, and then they I meet a lot of kids that still playing game like 4 a.m. and they have to go to school like 8 a.m. so on. So they are using the success of others to tell their parent that the playing game is good. So that is not the reality, because for kids, especially the under 13 or under 16 kids, this kind of story is for parent. You really need to understand what your kids is saying to you. Maybe you saw a lot of success story in the newspaper or TV or so on, but it's very different between playing games and joining tournament. It's just two things. It's very easy to differentiate these people that play tournament. After the training, they rather not play the game. They rather do something else. But for people that like to play games a lot, they don't care whatever. They don't eat. They go and play the game. They fight with your parent or their sibling just because they want to play the game. If you want to see your kid is addicted or not, just turn off the Wi-Fi and you can see lah. He addicted or not. Simple way.
Here's the thing: you might affect other people who are actually doing a different kind of work. Okay, but majorly, you're right. If you do turn off the Wi-Fi, which I think Ramen would do such a thing. Okay, you will see a number of people, gamers who are currently in ranked games, be so angry about it. All right, yeah, and I really like how you share about all this, like the excuses they give. It is true that there are people out there who do earn millions from gaming through being really, really good as well. Like, if you guys are not sure for this, like Mr. On The Go is mentioning Team Secret. The teams that are under this brand, Team Secret has won a number of world championship titles already, and then they've already earned cumulatively over millions of dollars and much more. But of course, it does not apply to everyone, and so they went and tell their teachers and parents they can win 1 million. Is it, Amen, like that?
Yeah, this kind of story, success story of others, they use it as an excuse to play the game. So
contoh dia macam apa, Solos, Mushi, something like that. Did they ever do that?
Yeah, of course they are using a lot of other people's success.
Have they ever used your name? Saya nak jadi macam Abang Keramen.
They say they want to become camper, that's all lah.
Oh.
But they don't use my success lah as an excuse. For sure they use the one that viral, right? Like last time maybe Mushi, now maybe Solos, Firdaus.
People talk about Fredo, Midwan. So basically, they use all these success stories and tell about this. Okay, I don't know whether the same applies to anyone else here. Is it like if this happened to you? Just not on the go. Does this happen to you? Yeah. On the go, as I've told the mom and dad, I want to become like Mushi. At one point of life, he must have realized like, okay, I don't have the skills. Let's become a team manager.
My mom loved Mushi, by the way.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I'm not bad talking Mushi. Like, he's amazing. He still is, and much more. Okay, anywho, now here's the thing. Okay, for our next one, it sounds a little bit general, but actually, this is gonna be interesting. Now, what is the difference between esports and gaming? And to a lot of people, it sounds like they are kind of like the one. The only thing people say is that they're like professional. Let's try to tighten up the question like this: what is the difference between people who do normal gaming activities versus people who actually do proper esports activities? Do esports people have the same lifestyle, same habits, and much more? Like, if you say training compared to normal gamer training, what kind of pro training does esports players? Yeah, anyone can actually take on this. But I wish, I think since Jeffrey and On The Go has already managed a few number of professional teams, I think maybe you guys can address this. Or Ramen as well, yeah, Ramen.
I'll probably let On The Go talk about the team side, but I mean from the competition side, from the tournament organizer side, generally esports is really just competition, right? Gaming is a very huge industry where you have entertainment, you have the game itself, videos, contents, and everything. But esports is very focused on the competitive aspect. So having teams compete against each other, playing against each other, trying to be the best of the best, that is essentially one of the core value in esports. Then you have certain other additional stuff like all the spectators, storytelling. So all these are elements of esports. You need to have these elements. So for me, esports is three things, right? Competitiveness, spectators, fans that actually cares about the players, the teams, and as well as story. Whereas there's another one whole new spectrum from the pro team point of view. I'll probably let On The Go or someone else think about it, talk about it.
Okay, On The Go, feel free to.
Yeah, for esport players, right? For esport players, this is a legit career. And one of the biggest differences between casual gamers or people who are addicted or using the excuse that I want to be a professional player, that's why I'm playing a lot. But if they are doing that live, like what Ramen said, right? The main difference is one, for esport athlete, it contains discipline. Means player have to follow certain rules, certain schedule, certain plans set by the team itself. Like for Team Secret, we have like this schedule. Okay, this week we're gonna play this amount of scrims, and the tournament is coming next month, so we're gonna increase the intensity as we get closer to the tournament. So they don't have to play like 18 hours a day. We don't force them to do that, but we have certain amount of these plans for them, and they know that they need to do this because this is a career for them. But for the other one, there is no such thing as discipline. You can play as long as you want. But the problem is, right, Flava? Let's say you play for 18 hours straight and you say that you are training for 18 hours. But how many of that 18 hours that you're putting into training is quality training? That's the question. Because we don't let our players play longer than 3 hours per session. Because after that, whatever they do, it's just that it's not going into the head anymore. They are tired. There's too much game. They've been looking at the phone for a very long time. They might get migraine, so on and so forth. But for these casual people that really want to go into competitive, they play these long hours to a point that the first 3 hours, they are very nice like you. No. They are very nice like me. But from the 4th hours onward, they become you. You know, the rage guy.
This is not true, by the way.
So that's the difference, Flava. So the thing is, they are not with a certain amount of people that can control them, tell them that this is good, this is bad, you should follow this particular way. And it's kind of important for all these people to take care of, one, their physical, and also two, their mental health. It's very, very, very crucial. For us in Team Secret, we treat this very seriously as a business, one, and also career, two. To us, it's not just a game, it's business, career.
Yeah, just jumping onto what OnTheGo has mentioned, like esports athletes don't just play the game. Usually in a 8 hours kind of block of work hours, you probably spend like 3 to 4 hours actually playing the game. The rest of the time you actually spend discussing team meetings, looking at boards, understanding strategy, basically fine-tuning your theory craftings and everything. So there's a lot of things that actually involves into professional playing, professional gaming in a way. Like you can't, it's not just playing the game. If you're playing the game non-stop for 8 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, and you say that you're training to get better because of that, it's either one, you're doing it wrong and you don't even know, or two, you're lying to yourself. Usually it's that.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. I really so basically one of the main points I'd like that OnTheGo highlighted and Jeffrey actually emphasized on is actually the importance of quality time compared to quantity amount of time. I mean, you can just burn out yourself from 18 hours of playing, like you mentioned, or probably you can just play 3 hours really, really well and gain make it good quality 3 hours and perform better compared to you playing 18 hours, right? Really, really nice to know and all this. But may I just ask that since OnTheGo highlighted that some of these athletes, they train just like a normal athlete, like waking up early in the morning, training, eating well, also do discussions, scrims and all this. We also know that the truth is for esports, not saying all, but most scrims, these practice matches that you actually have would actually begin somewhat close to midnight and then end somewhere in the middle of the night and much more. And people think, why do these people, I mean, public wants to know, why do you have to do all these practices and scrims the middle of the night? Yeah, what is there a particular reason for this?
All right, for PUBG Mobile, if you ask me, most scrims actually starts 3 p.m. Malaysia time. So GMT plus 8 starts at 3 o'clock. And usually there will be 2 sessions. This from my experience as a PUBG Mobile manager. There will be 2 sessions, one at 3, another one at 8. And there will be like this voting where people decide how many games do you guys want to play today? 4 games or 5 games, so on and so forth. And I think Ramen will agree with me on this. Most esports players, when they are not in their boot camps or during the near the competition, they are not the people that wake up 8 o'clock in the morning. They are those people that actually wake up maybe around 12, around 1. And we are okay with this because we know that although they wake up late, they're still sleeping for 8 hours. That's the most important thing. You get enough sleep, you train well, then it's fine. But if you are sleeping at 6 a.m. and then you are forced to wake up at 10 and play, then that is something wrong. So as long as we know that these players are okay with this timings, then it's fine. It's not that they are playing at midnight whatsoever. No, it's just that they are fine with those hours and they are okay with it, so they can proceed with it.
Okay, that's actually very good insights on this. Now we do have for your information, since we're actually going live right here in a number of platforms itself, we also open up questions from the public, and if you have any questions you want to give in to any of our panelists, feel free to actually do so, and our admin is more than happy to actually pick out some really good questions and ask them away to our panelists. And we do have one right here. Now this question is actually from this guy called Shazwan Alias, and his question sounds like this: is there any prevention steps to make the new generation kids from being addicted from gaming, since we know that the consequences from it? I think they know the consequences, but they're still addicted to it. Yeah, so is there any advice, any prevention steps you would like to share on this?
Like, parents actually play a very important role in that. It's the same as like what I've actually mentioned to you guys earlier during the call, or even before this session. Like, my parents actually started off really drilling into me and say, like, you don't game for so long, you have to go through a bunch of educational stuff. So my dad will have a software that turns off flashcards and say, you finish this 60 flashcards kind of thing, you answer it correctly, and then I'll let you play your game as much as you want. Actually, no, It's only 2 hours. It's only 2 hours, and then I have to stop. So, having those kind of, like, routine or that kind of method in the past, it helps to really just drill me into that kind of mood, and it's honestly not that hard as long as you have the discipline to stop yourself, especially when you lose.
Okay.
Especially when you lose.
I like that end point right here.
The prevention step is the parent. You the one that can control the Wi-Fi. You the one that control the phone.
Oh wow!
You the one that control everything. So it's up to you actually. It's actually from basic lah, right. So if the basic is there, then you can control it, and of course you cannot prevent 100% because otherwise your kid will rebel with you. So it's the best is that you make sure they study, make sure they do all the homeworks, and then give them a few hours or 1 hour, 2 hours to play the game. And if you really have to, maybe like 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. you turn off the Wi-Fi lah. Simple. So this is one of the things, because all the game is like mostly is online, so you can control it very easy.
I think if I can add, right, Ramen, you brought up a very good point. I think parents really play a huge role. But if I can maybe take a different framework to it and think about it, is sometimes when you restrict too much, the kid will rebel, right? Like, and we've heard from this. But so is it okay for us to maybe then not restrict as much, but let the kid experiment and make mistakes? And that is part of learning as well. But I really wanted to shift it back to like a kind of framework for you guys to think about, right? So you have different identities in life. Like all of us, we are gamers to some extent, but we're also we're colleagues, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're daughters, we're sons, right? And each of these identities matter. But the problem becomes when you focus too much on one single identity. So when someone who's addicted to gaming or plays too much games only identifies with themselves as a gamer, because they don't nurture these other different identities, or the people around them don't show that these identities are important to also be passionate about and to also spend time in. So for example, you can be a great gamer, right? You can be a fantastic esports player, but you also can be a great son. And that means you're spending time, with your parents, with your family. You're taking time out from gaming to nurture that part as well. And I think here's where parents come into play, right? Like in a very opposite kind of way. Can you help with the addiction to the gaming part by helping them realize that there's value outside of gaming? Can you then nurture these other different identities, right? And then you'll spend time with the kid, understand their different passions. Can we build a passion in something else as well that then helps balance these two things out?
I had to take like a short pause because that's like deep. Okay.
I also want to add, Flava. I want to add about. I want to add a bit. I want to add about what Michelle, Jeffrey, and also Flava said. It's a story. It's more like a story, okay? And it's not really related to esports. Back then, when I was young, there was no such thing as gaming. I was not raised with all these gadgets, so on and so forth. So the one thing that I had in my house was television, and I love watching cartoons in the morning. But my mom know that I'm addicted to most of them. So what she do is, like what Jeffrey said, if you want to watch TV, you need to do this, and you'll be able to watch this particular thing. I love Dragon Ball. Every Saturday and Sunday, 9:30, I must watch. So I do a lot of things the night prior, that Saturday and also Sunday, to make sure that I can get that slot. The 9:30 a.m. slot is mine. So that's one thing that I do, like Jeffrey said. And then for what Michelle said, the spending time, what my mom did with me was she watched Dragon Ball with me. And if she's working on Saturdays or even Sundays, she'll come back from work and she'll ask me and explain what happened today. Tell me what happened to Goku, what happened, did he die, blah, 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 blah. So I know that she's not interested with that thing at all, but she asked because she want to spend time with me. So I think this can also be used for like esport. Like maybe you support Team Secret Dota 2 team, and then this morning we won a tournament. And then as a parent, you can always ask your son or your daughter, did Secret win? How many games they play? Oh, they won 3-0. Great. How did they win? This kind of stuff. So yeah.
How did they win? It was a split push.
so yeah, just want to add on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's very, very, very interesting. Yes, Jeffrey, please.
Yeah, also to share, like what Michelle said is actually very true. If you want to restrict your kid, like literally doing it the hard way, everything turn off and everything, it might be bad. One very funny story that I heard, basically is something that happened to my friend, was the mom will always unplug, like for example at night, she will unplug the keyboard. So what my friend did was he go find some other keyboards from school, took it from school, put it at home. And then the mom start taking away the plugs, he will go find other plugs to plug in.
Wow.
on a positive note, it's creative thinking, right? You actually use your brain to find ways to solve problems. But if you're being too restrictive at times, sometimes it just, it doesn't solve the problem. Probably the better way was really to talk to them and understand their view, like why are they doing that? And right now he's messaging me because I put him on the spot.
No, okay, very, very, very good insights. Okay, now I think everybody had a fair share of sharing insights. I like how it started off with Jeffrey saying about how parents actually, how your parent actually trained you in such a way where if you do this, basically you do this, you can actually have this much playtime. Hence explains why you're limited to 1 to 2 hours. Now we understand. All right, Ramen's very simple. He has the power of the Wi-Fi, so he at any point he can just reach out and just, okay, that's it, kids, you're done.
Yeah, it's easy for my kids. Papa, I want to play game. No Wi-Fi. They cannot play game. They watch cartoon. They do other things. Simple.
And yeah, just to add on to what I mentioned just now, right? Right now he's basically one of like the PC experts among my friends. He's basically running a business out of what happened in the past, right? So it's not all that bad, It's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who actually gave me my PC in a way. I bought it from him.
I see.
Yay.
All right. So anyways, I like we jump from Wi-Fi. So basically, Ramen is like using all his power that he has as a parent, like, okay, using the power of the Wi-Fi. Okay, and then Michelle comes in. Very nice story saying that, you know what, sometimes you cannot restrict too much. Because kids, when you restrict too much, they tend to become a rebel. And then OnTheGo actually adds in even more that sometimes not just about restriction, but sometimes your parents try to actually take interest in what you do as well, and that kind of gives you a little bit of positivity in terms of morale. And yeah, I think deep inside, I think OnTheGo kind of knows that mom knows exactly what's going on, but she did take a little bit interest on his work, which makes him happy, and and he also just responds back and forth. I'm very sure your mom is much more knowledgeable on Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT compared to myself. All right, now I'm worried. All right, and she's also a fan of Mushi, right? Yeah, that's like the whole package. We should have her here, okay? And we should have the parents talk about their children on gaming addiction to verify what you said today. We should have another segment for that.
Next year you're gonna be a parent, so yeah, we can invite you again.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I mean,
Cool.
the kids maybe like few months old, so nothing much to talk lah, right?
Okay. For your case, we invite the kids. We invite the kids to come in and just tell, how's your dad? Oh, dad. Yeah. Dia tak pernah layan kita.
And the best thing if you do is you go 1v1 with your kids, that's all.
Oh no.
You lose, you cannot play the game. You win, I let you play.
Most of the time they're gonna play then.
Yeah.
lah. I think the kids will become campers like just like that. But anyhow,
you're-
let's move forward to the whole webinar right here. We have a lot more things here. Don't worry, and remember, guys, if you have anything you want to ask away to our panels for today, feel free to actually drop a comment, and our admins can actually pick it up. Okay. Now, our next session, we want to talk about this. Now, there is still a perception that it is not possible, not saying possible, it's quite hard to actually find a viable career in esports today. I mean, when you say a viable career, it could be anything from being an esports player, from being a caster, a host, organizer, team manager, and much more. All right, is that a myth or is there some truth in there?
I think at this time,
Okay.
any job is hard to keep. At this time of
This question had to come out like during a pandemic time, right?
but
It's
but
like,
but
yeah.
you know the irony right now when you're talking about jobs, gaming and esports jobs are probably one of the more secure ones compared to travel hospitality. But
Mhm.
back to the
Facts.
question, I feel esports and gaming right now is a very entrepreneur based kind of industry right now. So a lot of things are basically very new. Organizations as well as companies are all pretty much startup. So there are job opportunities everywhere. Like the fact that we are all here, we are living our lives based on esports and gaming. But I think one thing that I usually would tell people is that it's not the job is there, but you have to put in the effort to really look for it, and when you get it, you really have to put in the work. So because in a corporate setting, it's very simple, right? You wake up, you go to work, you do whatever task which is given to you, and then you can leave. You can go and do your thing. But if you're part of the gaming and esports industry, it's so new, it's so untapped that you need to really find more time to understand what's happening. You need to find more time to do things outside of your job scope to really be part of the industry. So yes, I feel right now there are job opportunities, but it's something that you really need to put in effort.
Mhm.
A lot of
Alright.
people confuse that. They say like, oh, I'm a gamer, so I want to work in esport. Actually, esport is it required you to have a lot of skill before you can join in the esport industry as your career. Example, if you want to join the event organizer team, you need to have a lot of skill. You need to have if you want to become a production people, you need to have that skill for production. If you want to become even the marshal, you need to have the knowledge to do it. So, and this kind of knowledge you don't learn from university or school. So you have to learn it from the experience, doing maybe some online tournament and so on. But for me, this MCO is remind me like 4 or 5 years ago when most of the esport game, most of the esport tournament are online at that time. So
Mhm.
do we rarely see any offline events? Maybe
Yes.
last year, maybe every week almost have offline events. Too much offline event, but this year we are seeing what 4 5 years ago a lot of online tournament is start. That tumbuh like cendawan already, like all the online tournament, right? 30 ringgit fee here and there. Too much online tournament already. So, but because of the MCO, we cannot have the offline tournament. So, for esports, it doesn't really affect it much. Only for those that focus on offline event are affected lah. But the online still going on. But if you want to find a career in esport, you need to have the knowledge and the skill to join. It's not like I'm a gamer, so I want to join. It's not enough. So you need
The
to have
skill-
a lot of information.
The skill doesn't come from gaming. The skill comes
Yeah.
from actually like event management, project management, technical skills,
Oh.
MCing. There's so many other skills that you need to pick up, and that's something that you cannot get from playing games. Unfortunately.
Actually, that's a really good point. You said that the skills doesn't come from playing games. I think people thought that if you play enough PUBG Mobile, Mobile Legends, Dota 2, CS:GO, League of Legends, Arena Valorant, or anything, you might find these so-called skills to end up in the esports scene, right? I think
Esport
that's
esport have to
Yeah.
whether
As a
you
pro-
join in as an athlete or
Mhm.
you join in as the management. So
Mhm.
if you want to go for management, you need to have a lot of skills. You need to have a lot of experience. That's why you see a lot of ex-players or ex-manager, whatever, become a management. Okay, become people that go into the management side of it because the knowledge they get it from joining tournament, seeing how people do tournament, travel overseas and learn a lot of production things and learn a lot from people that already learn from the TV production through whatever and bring it to the esport. Then they can work in the management side. So, but if you want to be the athlete, then you need to have the skill as an athlete lah. It's very simple. Ha.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like you can be an actor, right? You can be an actor or actress in front of the camera, in front of the game. You can also be like a lot of other things on the side, like Ramen brought up management, esports tournament management. There's a lot of other things. You can be like, I don't know, esports marketing. You can go into thinking about esports strategy for companies that don't already do esports. So it's when we think about esports, it has to think bigger than just playing the game. And when you do think bigger than playing the game, it can be a viable thing, in my opinion.
All right. As you can see, if you guys are actually tuning into this live stream that we have right here, we have a variety of amazing panelists here today. So, like for example, Michelle, she's not actually playing the game as an athlete. She is working in the gaming sector in Google. All right. Congratulations, Michelle, for that. We have Mr. On the Go, who's not actually playing the game. All right, but he's actually managing a team of professional players, which is like something quite amazing. I mean, you're like one level above the pro players, which is something quite a feat, I would say. And Jeffrey's right now is working in ESL Asia. He's not just before this managing pro teams, but right now managing
Clients,
world
friends.
clients events, big level events, and of course Ramen is doing too many things. Okay, other than he has the skills of doing event management, because back in the days when I just knew Ramen, he actually single-handedly handled the whole tournament as an admin, as a marshal. But all he did was just sit down. Everybody had to come to him. Okay, you tell me what happened, result, whatever. So he had single-handed the whole event at this old cyber cafe in Subang area, and then yeah, he managed to do all that. And now he's even a streamer because he has the skills to talk to people, interact, and he also has skill in game like camping. If you guys are not familiar with him, all right. So skills. No, think about it. Without the skills of him being able to camp and get all the chicken is but more, he wouldn't have ended becoming a really good PUBG Mobile player, right? That is considered a skill. It's entertaining for people, a lot of people views, and much more. So this also tells all the viewers out there that there's a lot of job opportunities, but of course, just like what these people have mentioned, you need to attain these skills. Some skills, if you're an athlete, correct? What you said just now, that is attainable in the game, but most of them, the management skills, much more, it is somewhere outside the game. All right. To help you even further, if you have any questions after this whole webinar, feel free to actually approach any of our panelists, like Ms. Michelle, Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. On the Go, as well as Mr. Ramen. They'll be more than happy to actually attend to your question and assist you as much as you can. All right. I'm very sure a lot of people have questions about job opportunities. Now, coming on to the next one. Now, the next topic is that when should somebody give up? When should somebody give up gaming as a career? And how can they tell like they should give up? And would it be the same as telling someone to give up on their dreams? Wow, this is I've never had a conversation where you had to tell somebody to give up. Has anyone here? I mean, just be honest. Have you ever like been in a situation where you just had to like tell your friend like you need to give up, bro?
Especially
this
when
is
you want to kick people off the team. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit
No,
dark.
I mean not really, but I don't exactly what I do is as a team manager or as a coach or basically this usually happens in pro team, right?
Mhm.
You can't exactly tell people to like give up their dream. You don't go there and say, hey, your dreams are meaningless, let it go, it's broken, like forget about it. I don't usually do that. Most of the time I'll just tell them like, this is what you want to do, this is your goal, this is what you want to achieve, and these are the steps and all the stuff that you need to go through before you eventually reach there. And I don't tell them to give up, but I show them the reality that they are in. I explain to them the current situation, what is he right now at, and he has to make the decision on his own.
I have a very simple answer for this question. Very simple. Because the question when should somebody give up gaming as a career? The answer is never. The answer is never. You can still play your game as a career as long as you can still make money. Even though you make 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit as a part-time, as a hobby, you can still do it until before you die, until you cannot walk anymore lah, something like that, or you cannot move anymore. So, but if you're talking about give up esport career, I think this is what Jeffery Chan say lah. Esport career, when you are not more relevant, nobody want to take you. You are no more skillful. You are not good enough because of you're getting old. Then maybe you can start think about to retire from gaming, or more specifically retired from esport, not gaming. You can always play game whenever you want.
Exactly.
Even you can just do whatever. For me, I'm planning as long people want to watch me, we play until I don't know. Maybe I become Ato whatever in one day and play the game and stream. I don't know. It's a future.
Ramen.
It's a future industry, right?
I think career priorities, like just like any other career, right? Like you can change careers. It's not wrong to feel like you want to change careers. And I think it really ultimately it depends on whether you're still happy doing it. Right? You have to be happy in the career that you choose. And you have to feel like you're still learning, you have to feel like you're still growing. I think once those two things stop, then maybe it is time to think about a change. And you know, like Ramen said, right? Like you can, if you're happy in gaming, keep gaming. It's okay, right? As long as it's sustainable, as long as it's something that that you can survive with, that's a career worth pursuing. But once you stop finding the joy in gaming, once you stop feeling like you're growing as a person, I think that's when you should start thinking about something else. And it doesn't mean that you're giving up on a dream. And in entrepreneurship, right, in startup world, we like to say that you need to have a vision for yourself. Like, what do you want to be in life, right? Is it, you want to help other people, give other people opportunities? Do you want to help grow the gaming industry, for example? If that's your vision, you can actually take a number of different paths to get there, right? So the journey and the vision doesn't have to be the same thing, but you can move from journey to journey, but you can still achieve that goal that you want. So keep onto that dream, but find a different way to achieve it, right? Doesn't have to be playing esports competitively. Maybe it's becoming a coach. Maybe it's working behind the scenes, but you can still achieve that same dream. That's what I think.
All right. Okay. I understand that the question is a little bit. It's not even a little bit. It's very open-ended right here. But if I were to give a numbers there, for example, there were a number of people who do say who we don't understand over time as you age, your receptors, your body receptors, your hand-eye coordination is much more tend to deteriorate. And some people they feel that although they have been in their prime, and then even though people kind of know that he's not playing as well, but they still don't want to stop. Do you guys, does that consider as a time where you should tell this guy you should give up the gaming as a career, or should specifically like you should give up being a pro as a career much more? Has it ever come to that point? Like example would be like Dota 2, this old man fear. Everybody keeps talking about old man fear. You guys think Dota 2? People say that he's 30 years old. Most of the people who end up in the world championships for Dota 2 in TI would usually be 28 years old and below. But this guy's 30 and still playing in the world championship.
In CS:GO, you have players who are like almost 40. To me, age isn't really a very big. The motivation is whether you are able to sacrifice the time you need to spend on the game instead of the time to spend with your loved ones. So to me, put it this way: if a footballer can play for 40 years as a goalkeeper, why can't an esports athlete? They can. You just need to really know how to train, and you probably have to adjust your diets, actually do proper exercise, this and that. But I feel it's possible. It's just whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah. For this thing, right, Flava. I just want to add on another story. I love telling stories. There were a point in time where I think telling someone to give up on their dreams is sometimes it's a very hard thing to do, and second thing is sometimes you need to ask yourself, do I have the right to even tell this guy to quit, because you don't know what's going to happen next. Because once I think it was last year, early last year, someone very influential in my life told me that you won't belong in the esports scene. Just quit and just go and do your chemistry stuff. Just give up. And I actually had that conversation with Flava as well, and he said the opposite thing. He said that things will get better, don't worry. I'm pretty sure you remember that night as well. And I listened. You have two options: listen to this guy or listen to that guy. Who's telling the truth? I don't know. But I stayed on esport, and I got into PUBG Mobile, so on and so forth. So I want to just say that what Ramen said is very true. Esport is just not about the athletes. It's about the people behind the camera, people in front of the camera, because esports is not just playing games, right? There's entertainment factors to it as well. You need to do events as well. So there are a lot of things that can be explored in esports as a whole, and there's a lot of jobs out there. If you're not good at playing game, you can be an analyst for the game. Maybe you love the game. You have this gift you have the attention for details, like small things you are able to see. So there are a lot of opportunities out there, just that you need to be able to know what is your gift. If I'm not gifted here, then maybe I'm gifted somewhere else. So this is the question they need to ask themselves. Am I good enough for this particular career? Because there are a lot of other careers out there. Maybe he's good at that thing, then you can pursue that. And there's a lot of opportunities out there as well for esports, especially in Malaysia.
If I stayed on as a player, I probably won't be here.
Would you have been in a better place? No, would you say you
I would be
here?
in a terrible place.
I see.
Because I'm horrible.
Great that you asked that question. Am I a good
Yeah.
player? No. Okay, let's do ESL.
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? Find what you're good at. No point trying to like make something that you're not as good at or not as talented as the rest.
Yeah, if you a good player, then go become a pro player and earn more money lah. Simple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true as well. Yeah. Thank you so much, OnTheGo, for sharing on that, because he's a guy who has tried a number of things, because at the start he wasn't really a commentator to begin with. He was actually writing articles on gaming and everything else like that. Then he jumped into a Dota 2 caster, and then he betrayed Dota 2, and then he went saying, "Oh, did I say that right?"
No, I did not.
get it.
That's my first love, bro.
Okay. He betrayed, even worse. He betrayed his first love, and then he went to PUBG Mobile now. Okay, you can actually tune into him. Like, he even converted from an English Dota 2 commentator into slowly doing Bahasa commentaries and much, which is really nice to see and hear during events itself. All right, thank you so much, OnTheGo, for sharing on that. Now, jumping through, I also know that it is widely known that esports players has a short career span. We did highlight on this. Now, how should esports athletes prepare themselves for retirement? I mean, like, not restricted to the whole 30 years old, but let's say, for example, you have reached your limit. There will be a limit. What's your plan for retirement? Because people keep talking about, if you're done playing the game, you can become a coach because you have your knowledge and much more. Yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. What is plans for retirement once people have reached that age? Yeah, anyone, feel free.
Yeah, I think to prepare for retirement is what Jeffrey was talking about, right? There are certain skills that you learn while playing the game. There are skills that you learn outside of playing the game that can help you transition into a different role after you're done playing the game. So as you play the game, don't forget to make time to learn all these other skills as well. And I hear a lot of stories about people who want to immediately quit their jobs, stop studying, right, just because they won one tournament. And I think that balance is very important. Learning that there are other roles that you can do outside of that, actually doing them and picking up those skills will really help you move into a different career. So give an example, right? There's this Street Fighter player called Justin Wong, and I think he transitioned from playing Street Fighter into a tech company. Right now, if not everything that you learn in Street Fighter can be brought over to a tech company's role, right? So he must have picked up other skills along the way that lets him do whatever he's doing as a tech company, right? But he can still apply certain things like, how to, think strategically, how to, always respond to things on the go, because on the go, shout out to you.
I know, every time somebody says that word, it's like on the go, yeah.
It's great nickname. So, like I mentioned, you can do put in a lot of different other skills that complement what you already learned from gaming. But if you are 100%, 200% just playing that one single game alone, it's going to be very hard to find something else when you retire.
For me, it's simple. If you are inside the esports industry and you're getting a lot of money or you become successful, please don't waste your money for other things. Simpan all the money first, and maybe planning to make your own business on. So because business, you can generate more money in business. You can invest something somewhere else with your money, and don't waste your money too much lah. If you have a lot of income, don't waste it. Simpan for your retirement. Because when you retired, you can do a lot of things you want. You can still be in esports career, maybe not as a player, as a coach or as an analyst, whatever. Even as a commentator, also you can also become a caster. But if you have money, please think future. For your in case you don't have anything else to do, maybe you start doing your own business, or maybe you start do something that you want with your life, with the money that you have lah. So don't waste your money lah. That's it lah.
It's really the same as all corporate jobs. When you reach retirement, you invest, you diversify what you have, and then you try to build something from there. Otherwise, after get married, get kids, and ask your kids to pay you.
Okay.
For Team Secret, right? Whenever we get like the boys or like new players inside Team Secret, we actually like this, like the one of the earliest talk we actually have with most of the players. I have this one-on-one conversation with the players, explaining that this will be your career path for next few years. This is what you're gonna do if you're still in part of the team. This is what you will gain from us, and this amount of money, what you wanna do with it. Let's say after this amount of years, you're no longer good, and we need to change players, or you'll be benched or whatsoever. Do you want to be in esports still, or do you want to leave esports entirely and do something else? Because keep in mind that some of them, maybe when they're 24, 25, that's the end of their career, especially for PUBG Mobile players, because reflexes are kind of important. And this question is kind of important because we need to know, like from our side, we want to know which player is interested to be a coach, because that's like in demand kind of thing. Which player can be an analyst, which player can speak well, that we can push them into casting. So we do think about their future, especially for these young kids that comes in, because one of the player in Team Secret is only 16 years old, and he's still doing his studying and all. He's taking a break now, but he's gonna continue studying. So we have to ask him, do you still want to pursue this? You still want to do your degree? As long as we know that he wants to do this, at least we know what we can provide, what support we can give him when he's still in Secret, or even after he leaves Secret to pursue his studies. I even have one player whereby his dream is win a lot of tournaments, get a lot of money, open a family mart. So I'm happy that he actually know that that's exactly what he want to do once his career as an esports player ends. While for another guy, of course, he still want to be esports, he want to be a caster whatsoever. So it's kind of important for I think Ramen also have this conversation with his boys as well from Bapa Esport. It's very, very important to put this mindset in players' head that this thing might end, bro. After this, what are gonna happen? Because they are young, they are in the middle of, wow, I'm winning tournament, everybody know me, I'm famous. But after that, what happened? People tend to forget you if you are no longer part of the scene. What are you gonna do next? That question need to be thrown to them at all time, especially when they are at their peak. It's very, very crucial.
Right. I think these are really good practices being practiced by some of the professional team managers we have right here within our country in Malaysia, and also some others we have in the Southeast Asia region as well, which can learn from. I do understand that not all teams within the whole country, may it be from PUBG Mobile, Mobile Legends, or any esports game that we have in the country, actually practices all this, giving advices on planning ahead on what you should do in the future if things don't work out so well in esports as well. I think this is really good advice, and people should start looking into it, because the lifespan of for certain games is a little bit lower, like how OnTheGo mentioned that PUBG Mobile is probably 25 years and below, and after that's going to be harder. Other games might be a little bit higher, but this is something to look forward to, because remember, not everyone in your team can end up being a coach, because one team only needs one coach, and if 4 to 5 players are out, there's not enough space for 5 coaches in the industry probably, and all this. All right, so you just do the calculation. If things don't work out, don't worry. There's always an events company right here. We have IU Esports. There's always ESL Asia. If you have any job openings, please post it up on your Facebook page so that they can actually refer to. If Team Secret has an opening for, let's say, for example, basically a 5th man, or probably replacing any players.
Maybe OnTheGo need a secretary, right?
Yeah, OnTheGo. If you need a secretary, if
PA,
you
right?
need,
PA.
if OnTheGo is being replaced, please post it up, okay?
I'll call you first.
No,
I'll offer you the job, Flava. I'm very sure. I'll offer you,
Thank you.
alright?
Thank you. Yeah, even better. We even have Google Analytics right here. Miss Michelle is working in the gaming sector in Google, right? So there's a lot of opportunities going on right here, not just restricted play games and think about the future and much more, right? And I believe that that is all the time that we have for today for this webinar segment. Now, before we sign things off, first of all, I'll say thank you so much to Miss Michelle. Thank you so much, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much to Mr. Jeffrey, Mr. MasterRamen, and of course, Mr. On the Go for sharing out your insights on esports or addiction. All right. And as promised, we did bring you experts in both esports and addiction as well. All right. You guys figure out which one are the addicts, which one are the experts. I believe all of them are experts, but they're also a mix of addicts as well. Now, if you have any inquiries or any other questions, further questions you want to ask away, feel free to actually approach them personally through their social platforms. And thank you so much to EG Network for actually handling this amazing webinar we have right here today at Esport of Level Up Play 1. Probably brought to you by Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation or MDEC. Don't go away because we'll be right back after the commercial break with yet another webinar series right after this. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you, everyone.